If you've been watching me on YouTube for a while now, you'll know that Fallout 3 is my favourite game of all time. Not only did this game introduce me to Bethesda games in general, but it entirely broadened my horizons with regards to video games. It was the first open world game that I properly played and delved into. It was the first game that made me properly appreciate the craft of video game development. It was the first game that made me want to listen to music in video games in my own spare leisurely time, which I still do to this day for Fallout music. And as you know, it was the game that got me into doing YouTube in the first place. I haven't talked enough about how much I truly love Fallout 3 on my channel. This video is my way to correct that. Welcome to Fallout 3, a retrospective. If you've played Fallout 3, you fondly remember this moment, emerging out of Vault 101 for the first time into the capital Wasteland. This very moment has been etched into my memory so vividly, and I know that that is the case with many other Fallout fans as well. The way that the sunlight blinds your character's vision temporarily, and then how your character's eyes slowly adjust to see the glimpses of the capital Wasteland properly for the first time, is truly unforgettable. The music also hits the spot perfectly. From the scenic overlook, you get the first sense of the capital Wasteland. With regards to the Great War, the desolation, the nuclear radiation, all the events that led up to this moment, you capture in an instant. It's also the moment that introduces the concept of open world exploration in Fallout 3. Yes, there is a set path that you can go on, but you don't need to do that. The capital Wasteland is your oyster to explore. You can do whatever you want, whether that's continuing to the main mission, or simply playing for hours on end doing side quests or other exploration. The choice is really yours, and these first moments in Fallout 3 outside of the vault exemplify that perfectly. And then there is what only I could describe as the vibe or tone of Fallout 3. There is a continuous and persistent sense of dread, hopelessness, eeriness, and darkness in Fallout 3. And I'm sure there are many other words that can describe it. I've never been able to truly pin down what gives Fallout 3 this vibe. Is it the destroyed buildings everywhere? Maybe. Is it the dead bodies and skeletons that litter the streets? Maybe. Is it the dark, eerie vaults and also underground metro system? Maybe. Is it the terrifying monsters that fill the wasteland, from super mutants to deathclaws? Maybe. But the honest answer is that it's all of these things. Fallout 3 absolutely nailed the post-apocalyptic theme in a way that I can think back on my memories of playing this game and instantly feel those tones. And funnily enough, as dark and as menacing as those tones are in Fallout 3, I'm not pushed away by that. In fact, it's the reverse. I completely embrace it. I adore exploring the capital Wasteland, and letting that sense of dread fill me up entirely. It is exactly what draws me back into the game each and every time. It's exactly what causes me to speak so fondly about this game, even 10 years after I played the game for the first time. But it's not all about this. Fallout 3 also has a sense of hope embedded in its storytelling and characters, and many other facets of the game. Even the music. You're walking around this desolate wasteland, but as soon as you turn on Galaxy News Radio, you're hearing wonderful, positive, upbeat vibes from the 1940s and 50s that tell you, well, maybe there is a chance. That tell you, well, maybe there's still a bright light at the end of this tunnel. Even to something as simple as the water purification project, where you're looking to bring clean water to the wasteland. Or the Brotherhood of Steel, for all their faults, still trying to protect people from super mutants. While I adore the darker undertones of Fallout 3, that's not what this game is all about. And the way those two opposite sides of the spectrum work together so flawlessly is exactly why I love Fallout 3 as much as I do. And what about the characters? From Three Dog, to Colin Moriarty, to Jericho, heck, even Dogmeat. Each character in this game serves a purpose, and I absolutely loved speaking with every single one of them, learning their backstories, understanding their quirks, embracing their personalities. This is also what made Fallout 3 so special. Personally, I'm usually not one that likes to do a lot of reading or listening in video games. Typically I like to get to the action. But when it came to Fallout 3, I would always sit and listen to everything every character had to say, because it was always interesting to me. it's partly what gave the world its flavor. All of these characters and communities banding together, or even fighting each other, just to make it through the aftermaths of the Great War, is just so utterly compelling to me. And then we go to the capital Wasteland itself. As I alluded to before, Fallout 3 was one of the first open world games that I truly gave a chance and put all of my effort and time into. And there are no doubts that was because of the capital Wasteland. The map was just so fundamentally interesting and fun to explore. You never knew what was over the next hill. You never knew what was in the next town. You never knew what was inside the next vault. But when you explored those areas and gave them a chance, they always offered something compelling that not only made you appreciate that specific location, but also urged and encouraged you to keep going and to keep progressing with that exploration. There is always something new to find in Fallout 3. Even people like myself that have put hundreds if not thousands of hours into this game can still go back to this day and find something new. I cannot even count on both hands the number of times that either myself or people that I have talked to have found something new in the capital Wasteland that they didn't know was there before. And every one of those moments is enjoyable. Whether it's a new item, a new character, a new Easter egg, whatever it might be, it's what keeps us exploring this beautiful world. And I can name but a few examples of locations that, when I do mention, there's instantly going to be a trigger of memories in the minds of anybody that have gone to those locations and explored them. For instance, anybody remember Andale? The first time you go to that town, it looks like any other normal town. The people are happy, they're cheery, they're eating dinner with each other, they're speaking positively towards you, but then there was a dark secret underneath. And only the people that took their time to explore that town and uncover that secret were the ones that got to appreciate it. Yes, the people in Andale were cannibals. And that discovery is just but one moment that is always stuck in my mind when it comes to Fallout 3. And what about the Citadel? Even if you don't like the Brotherhood of Steel, those first moments of entering the Citadel and seeing young Brotherhood of Steel members training, and the really cool technical setup that they had there, it was just awesome. It was awe-inspiring. You heard about the Citadel for so long in the game, especially because people said if you wanted power armor, that was the place to go. And when you finally got there, it was a cool fucking moment. To speak to all the paladins there and the scribes there, to understand why the East Coast Brotherhood of Steel did the things that they did. All of that stuff was so fascinating to me, and we had the backdrop of the Citadel to back that up. And then who could forget each and every vault that you went to explore and to try and uncover the experiment that secretly plagued that vault. From Vault 108 with all of the Gary clones, to Vault 92 with the white noise generators. These experiments and subsequent stories that backed up all of these vaults in Fallout 3 just made exploration that much more compelling. And I think it's funny that even this far into the video, I haven't even mentioned any of the gameplay mechanics of Fallout 3, which I still equally enjoyed. There's just so much to unpack here. I loved collecting all of the weapons. I loved collecting all of the unique weapons and cool armor and power armor variants. I loved the whole idea of leveling up and distributing skill points. I'd never really been exposed to something like that before Fallout 3. It was the game that opened my eyes to RPG mechanics, and from that moment onwards, I truly appreciated RPGs in an entirely different light, thanks to Fallout 3. That's what the game means to me. And look, I could go on and on about this game, whether it's talking about the quests, or lore, or Easter eggs and cultural references, or all the DLC that came after it, or the karma system, which I still love to this day, or the bobbleheads that you could find in the capital Wasteland that would help your character, or all of the companions that could join you along your journey, like Dogmeat, or Forks, or Jericho. There is so much that I love about Fallout 3 that I honestly cannot stop talking about it, but for the sake of video longevity, I'm gonna do that right now. I think the things that I mentioned about Fallout 3 at the beginning of this video are the reasons why I truly adore this game, but those aspects alone do not sit in a vacuum. They all work together in a wonderful and beautiful way that makes Fallout 3 my most treasured video game of all time. So anyways, Wastelanders, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, and until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.